So yeah, I had a little wobble in the middle going, oh, maybe mine isn't technical enough, but I'm going back to a little bit of wearables, a little bit of health tech, and a little bit of good old-fashioned creativity. So here we are. My predictions are to do with the future of work. First and foremost, in order to understand the future of work, we've got to understand what makes us flow. And so my PhD was looking at the brain activity and signature brain states of when we are in peak performance mental states. So this is the time when you feel like in a presentation you have the entire room in the cup of your hand, you know, when you can see the bigger picture and the little details at the same time, when you have incredible mental flexibility and change strategy. You're completely absorbed in what you're doing, totally engaged, and time seems to be a thing of the past. So it sounds a little bit like Limitless the movie, but not being on speed. So that is basically what I was studying, and I was looking at it from the perspective of creativity because I'm a performer as well. I'm a musician, to be exact, and I'm very interested in how we can bring in tech in a way that is very natural and organic and analog. Don't necessarily have the time to play the music, but I was going to get you to see whether you can detect the difference between what was recorded by the wearable and what was recorded by the musicians. But up there on the right-hand side are a pair of gloves called the Mimu gloves, which by gestural control, you can change the music and also the visuals that you do. So that was the recording, and this is the visuals that were being conducted at the South Bank whilst also working with dancers. So for me, it's very much about how do you actually bring in tech to enable and enhance the human experience using what we already have. So I'm also an actor, and all of that put together makes me look at myself as a multidisciplinary person. So true to being a futurist, we have to take a little bit of a prediction from a tarot card, right? So what's it going to tell us today? Passion. All right, so I'm going to use passion to tell you about where I think the future is going. So I think the future is going somewhere that the past has been already. Art and science coming together. Leonardo da Vinci isn't exactly a surprise to many people. And bringing together art and science methodologies, I think, is the future so that we don't all reach glass ceilings in our own expertises. We all need to start talking to each other and making the world go further through that. And with this, I have an art science creative agency called Jugular Productions, which is joining the head in terms of academic research through lived visceral experience. So that's the heart. And up there on the right, you see a professor talking about the future of aging. Over here, you see another talking about our memory systems. And over here, you see the performance element of what it feels like to have your memories recalled and influenced and forgotten. And there is memory of the body. That's just an example of one of the shows that we did. And one of the other shows that we did, coming back to the body, is using a very primitive form of tech, one might argue, but one of the, in fact, the first form of tech that we as humans created, and that is music. So music and rhythm was the first form of tech that we created to communicate with each other. And there's a piece of research that shows that those who sing together synchronize their heartbeats. And there's another piece of research that shows that synchronicity is actually what leads to group empathy. So I thought it'd be really nice to have a social experiment in a performance where I just wanted a good old-fashioned lovin'. And so we thought, let's join those two things together. And we took the heartbeats of one of the members of the audience and used that to create a piece of rhythm and music with singers coming in from all over the surrounds of the environment. And then we got everybody up as well, got them to sing and got them to dance and do the rhythm. And at the end of it, we have something in our phones, which is a pulse oximeter with which you can actually measure your heart rates. And everybody had synced to 123 BPM, at which point the composer goes, do you want to know what BPM that was? It's completely unscripted. It was 123 BPM, and everybody felt very synchronized. So, what is the future? Technology to enable and enhance, I think, is really going to come into its own. And right now, I am the CEO of a startup called NeuroCreate, where we are literally looking at the symbiotic design of bringing together neuroscience and AI to augment human work processes. So we're creating an AI-powered flow platform. Everybody's heard of AI, but in our case, not just to automate, in order to augment and enable flow by having a deep understanding of how we think and also our own neural activity. So how can AI also be used to spark creativity? And over there is a brainstorming tool over there where AI is sitting there using some of the technology from chatbots, using systems design thinking in order to give you real-time suggestions to make you think about things from different perspectives and really, really make that meeting into a more interesting experience. And so flow is a better way of working. There has been a recent research study that has shown that people are unproductive 5 hours of a working day, not because we're not able to, but the fact that we're looking for another job paints to the picture that we're just really unengaged. And another piece of research shows that we have low engagement, low productivity, and low well-being in a cycle. And so when we are in flow, we actually look at all three of those things in one go. And we improve our productivity, well-being, and creativity. In fact, creativity is the new productivity. And we've been shortlisted for Tech for Good and the Future of Work Awards by the RSA, mentioned by the Forbes, and also the Transformative Tech Academy over in the States. We can optimize this flow platform using some wearables. So that's a little wearable there. The brainstorming platform is only one of the things that we're using, but we're also looking at other visualizations to get people into flow in different areas, such as esports or games, actual athletics, dance, all sorts of things in terms of peak performance. And here is a dance hackathon that we were involved in with the Sadler's Wells, Lyon and Liège, the first hackathon across Europe, where we actually visualized the internal state of a dancer, and they were improvising and were able to use their internal state to break their normal patterns of improvisation. So that's what brain activity looks like, and that's what your heart rate looks like. So my predictions for 2019, the future of work is to work smarter, not longer, and use AI as a symbiotic tool with our own biology to enhance the human mind and body. Thank you.